What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be testing out actually Smart Summon in a few different scenarios and seeing how it handles different things. The first thing that I want to say though is this has not gone wide to everybody yet, and in my opinion, in my experience, send it wide. Let this software go to everyone. I don't want to be, the only one with it. You don't want to have just a couple of people. Just send it out. Let everybody, gather data and have this do better and better. So this right now that you're seeing is dumb summon. Check this out. That's how slow dumb summon goes. Now I'm going to send it away. I did go to target. That's kind of on the other side of those trees. And this thing is about to take off like a rocket. 4, 5, 6 miles an hour. There's nobody in that car. I'm just pressing this button. Isn't that crazy? Now, why did I make that intro and say those things? It's kind of funny. I've been making these videos for years now, and it's just for me to test this stuff and share it with you and show you. And when the car doesn't always perfectly do everything exactly right, people get mad at me saying that, oh, now Tesla's not going to roll it out wider, blah, blah, blah. So I waited, a couple of weeks. This was supposed to go wide last week. It's not my fault. And there is no chance that my stupid little tests in my driveway have any merit or, are influencing Tesla at all in that way. So yeah, I want to throw that out there. And at the end of the day, it's my car with my software. I don't have any kind of special contract or something. I can test whatever I want. So we're going to have some fun here. We're going to test the stuff. But again, roll it out wide. Let everyone have it. That's what I say. And to add on to that, this is the initial rollout. Things will only get better from here. And part of the agreement when you turn this on, you say you're responsible and you're going to be watching your car. Even though I agree it's a little counterintuitive to the whole point of using this system, at this point you should still have an eye on your car. You should be able to see what it's doing, where it's going, so you can make sure it's being safe. So some of these things I test are a little extreme, but I wanted to find the limit. And I think I did find kind of exactly where it's having a little bit of trouble. But yeah, hope you enjoy the video. This video is brought to you by Joa, maker of premium Tesla and vehicle accessories. Claim your discount by using the link in the description below. All right, here we go. We're gonna click summon. You'll see the car will blink its lights, showing us that it is ready to summon. It says connecting, and then press and hold to go to target. So I don't know how much of the app I can show, but I'll show you what I can, and we're gonna go. So one of the first questions people had is, when you start this up, it first reverses in order to compensate for the blind spot in front of the front bumper. What if you have stuff behind it? So I've gotten pretty close to this. I actually already got in the car once and backed it up more because the reverse camera was making that table look really close. We'll see what it does. So go to target, it is preparing. And it's like playing music in there. Oh no, that might be Stephanie inside playing piano. So reversing, so it did reverse just a tiny bit. It obviously had room for that. And now it is very slowly going forward. It looks like it's almost like, oh, we good? And then it's speeding up as it gets out of the garage. So it can leave the garage. I've shown that before. It's doing a really good job going 4 miles per hour here up the driveway, which is great. 5 miles per hour. That looks really natural. It looks like there's a person driving that vehicle and just leaving, like, see ya, or off to work or whatever. So working really well in that scenario. Now, so I let off the button and it just slams the brakes. And I guess, they do that for safety, because what if you let go of the button because something, it's about to run into something. Well, now I'm going to try to bring it back to me. And I don't know if it's really going to be able to do that, because is it just going to back all the way down the driveway? It actually has a better, it's going to leave the driveway and it's going to go out in the road and try to turn around or something. I don't know. I'm just holding it. I should follow it because, hold on. All right, so when I first walked up to the vehicle, it actually had the hazard lights on, but it turned them off before I got all the way up here. So I can see myself in the app there. So I'm gonna click go to target. This is, again, back in my driveway. I wonder if I'm in its way. So I'm gonna hit go to target. It says preparing. I've kind of moved off to the side here. I imagine it's gonna wanna do a loop-de-loop, although it could just back all the way down the driveway. So there's the reverse for visibility. So that's the amount it wants to go, which, I can't imagine that actually compensates for the lack of visibility. But let's see what it does here. Cannot connect to vehicle. Whoa, what? That's kind of weird. So I'm just still holding the button. I have not let go of this button. It says connecting. It says release to stop. I still have the target in the same place to get it back into my driveway. Again, what I was going to say is it actually has the best visibility when it's going in reverse. So you think it could just zoop back all the way down the driveway back to where I'm telling it to go. But actually Smart Summon likes to drive forward. So I did release the button, I pushed it again, it says preparing. Another thing that I would point out that I find really interesting is, maybe I should do a whole video on this, when I'm comparing the ability of actually Smart Summon to FSD, FSD drives a lot better. So like FSD version 12.5.3 drives a lot better in a parking lot than actually Smart Summon does. So these still seem to be separate things. I don't know why or how. Looks like it's going to try to go all the way around my little circle here, my little dirt circle. It's not quite so sure. There it goes. It's going to have to cut a really hard left. There we go. And again, like from out here, this looks so weird to just see the car driving around on its own, a little bit on the grass over there, but that doesn't matter at all out here. That's totally appropriate. I mean, it is coming around. So it basically did a full circle on that roundabout there on my little dirt cul-de-sac, and it's going to go back into my driveway. That is pretty, it looks so wild. I'm still not used to it. Some other questions I've had, here you go, you can see no one's in there. Have I used this a ton? Well, unfortunately, no, because it's not my car. So usually Stephanie has the car, and so I just can't use it. So it's going 5 miles per hour. I mean, I'm there. Now I'm walking quickly, and it's still getting away from me. So, I mean, it drives really nicely. Once it kind of gets going, it does drive really nicely. Now, for a parking lot to fit in a little better, I do believe you'd have to be able to get more up to that, let's say like 8 mile per hour range, or maybe even 10 to fit in better. And that's it. It's basically made it exactly where I told it to go. Now, we're going to try to get it in the garage, which I don't know if the go to target tool I have here is really good enough to even attempt that. But here we go. I clicked go to target. The little target is like on the garage of my house. And we'll see if it'll go in there. I would imagine it will not. So it's preparing. There's the brakes releasing. And it's thinking about it. It's definitely doing something. It has the pedestrian warning sound on. All right, so I waited here for quite a while. It is not proceeding into the garage. It basically doesn't want to move from this spot. So we can try some dumb summon here. So I will hold the forward arrow, and there we go. It's just going to go forward. And I will let it not run into the house. But I will hold this until it stops itself. So I'm still holding, obviously. Oh, it's getting close. I'm definitely not gonna let it hit my house. So there you go. I never let go. It says summon complete. That is a great distance from there, especially again, considering we do not have a front bumper camera. It says summon complete, even though I was continuing to hold the button. And there you go. All right, let's see if this thing will run over some stuff. All right, first up, we've got my bike. So I'm gonna click go to target, which is, again, is gonna be at the end of the driveway. And we'll see if the car sees that, if the reverse capability helps. Now I want you to really pay attention to how much this vehicle is actually reversing right now. That's a pretty good amount. But I don't think it fully covers the blind spot. What is that, maybe, you know what, that may be about 2 feet. We should actually probably test that. So waiting for path to clear. So it will not go. It says release to stop, waiting for path to clear. In that front camera, you can just barely see the top of those little handlebars there, and the car's not going. So that is a great first test there. All right, so now I want to get this back into position. So I'm going to hold the forward. I will say I have the settings a little conservative in the menu, so it won't get too close to objects, but I'm holding the forward arrow for dumb summon. It says preparing. It may not move. So it just says summon complete. So it won't move from this position. It doesn't want to get any closer to that bike. So actually a very nice result there. All right, and then just to show you it wasn't a fluke, I moved the bike out of the way. We're going to do a little bit of forward dumb summon. So I'm holding the forward button. It says preparing. Dumb summon is something I actually used a lot moving cars around here when I'm doing different things. Love to move it in and out of the garage with this. And there you go. So it moves forward, no problem. I can let it go there and it'll stop and we can test it again. Let's do it again. We got a smaller bike. So that last bike, the handlebars could barely be seen, and we're gonna measure how far back it goes. So I am holding it, it says preparing. It will do its little reverse. So there we go. And it just says release to stop. Actually, I do see those handlebars still there. It just says release to stop. It's not going forward. So it is not going forward, even though I'm telling it to move forward. All right, I mean, that's it. I'm still gonna hold the button. Let's see how far back this went. Wow, I am accurate. That is like almost exactly 2 feet. So it looks like it does move about 2 feet back for its checking the blind spot, which from my memory, people were calculating that the blind spot in front of the car was about 3 feet. Of course, Tesla knows more than we do, so maybe that's all it takes. All right, now that the bike is out of the way, I'm gonna move it forward with dumb summon here. Right there, so it's a tiny bit more forward than where I started it because I left that green stick there. And we're gonna try something even lower. All right, we're getting a little extreme here. Let me know if you think this is a bit silly, but we're trying it out. So, same go to target. That box, as it stands, is about 11 inches tall. So I told it to go. I thought I heard something weird, but whatever. So it's preparing. It'll do its backup. It does that every time, unless, as we saw earlier, if it doesn't have room behind itself. And we're gonna play with that too, don't you worry. So it backs up, and now it's gonna boop right over. Bye-bye box, and bye-bye car. It's just out of here. So, you know, around 1 foot's the limit. Let's keep testing it. All right, here we go, actually smart summon. So now we gotta know, is it capable of detecting this little box at all? So I put it farther up so the car had a chance to see it, and we'll see if it'll stop for it this time. So it says preparing. There we go, it's doing its little 2-foot reverse. And I see the box in that front camera. Yeah, and the car, oh, it thought about it. But it thought, you know what, that's just a box. Oh man, it thought that's just the box. I'm just gonna go for it. And you can see the hard braking and the hazard lights when I turn it off. Sorry, I know the quality and sound's gonna be different, but I gotta show you. When I'm in the car, see that little blob? That's, oh, sorry, the mirror's in the way. That's the box, okay? So, geez, the car is capable of seeing this box, knowing that it's there on this visual. That's it right there. That other blob is actually my camera sitting over there. So it's seeing these things, but for some reason, the actually smart summon part of it is either ignoring it or didn't see it. We're gonna try one more. All right, so we're doing it again. Go to target, and we did not. Okay, it went right around that box, so I kind of messed that up that time. So obviously it can go around it. I had accidentally told it to go backwards, so it went in my garage, and it was it's interesting, it was already in gear. And so it stayed in like the summon mode, even though I let off the button, so it was able to just take off right away. But you can see it has the capability of going around this box as it just did, and it went back. Like if it was to straight back, let's back it up. Let's see if it'll hit the box in reverse. So now we're going backwards. This is dumb summon, to be fair, but I'm dumb summoning backwards. It has the ability to see this box and go around it. So number one, this is why we're still responsible. You know, you got to look around your surroundings. You should be able to see the car when it's doing this stuff. And number two, maybe it should just back up a little more in order to be able to see stuff better. So it's getting close, but it's slowing down. I'm still holding it. Oh, it's like aiming for it. Okay, so it stopped right there. So again, it saw this box, it stopped for it, it did the right thing, and I'm still holding the button. I mean, I could show you there, I'm still holding it, and now I'll let go. But it did stop itself there to avoid hitting the box that time. All right, we've already seen where it will not back up if something's behind it, but I have go to target set, which is out that way. It will want to back up first, but I'm gonna stand right here, like right next to the car, and see if it will detect me. Pretty obviously can be seen in this camera right here. On the app, it says preparing, and it just goes forward. So, wow, and it took off. It's going 6 miles per hour, like right out the gate. So if a person or something is behind it, it's not going to go into reverse, but then it just has that blind spot there to contend with, which something like the Cybertruck does not have, but the Cybertruck also doesn't have this ability yet. One last one here I want to try. So the box that we tried was about 11 inches. It was too short. The car ran it over. This small bike, this is the smaller bike. This, when it was standing up, was about 2.5 feet tall. Now, with the handlebars like that, we're about 21 inches, so a little under 2 feet. This is the last one. We're going to see if it detects this with this little backup. So go to target. Obviously, I'm not going to let it run this thing over, but we'll be able to tell if it wants to go or not pretty easily. So it's preparing. It'll do its 2-foot rollback, reversing, and wow, that was close. So I did let it go because it was gonna run right into that, as you could tell. So somewhere around the 2-foot mark is the limit for where this car is detecting. Even with its little reverse, these cameras that are right here are having a little trouble detecting things, I would say about under 2 feet, because 2.5 feet worked. Little under 2 feet did not. It was not detected. So I would say around the 2-foot mark. So maybe another foot back or something in the rollback would help, but you know, you don't always have that ability. And then of course we have to test the pedestrian jumping out in front of the car at the last second, because that happens every day. But let's see what the car does. It's got to be ready. So preparing to come over to us. Takes it a second to get started here. It's doing its backup, 2 feet or so. Looked like a little less that time to me. And the car is cruising at 5 miles an hour. Just gonna walk right in front of it. It slows down for me. I'm gonna back up. And we're gonna do it again as it gets closer. So it's really cautious now that I'm here. I'm gonna walk out in front of it again. I mean, that's, you know, that's pretty close. I'll back up, let's see if it keeps going, and I'll try one more time. At this point, I'm basically trying to get hit. Here we go. Wow, it's going real, it sees me like leaning forward. Oh, all right. And it still stops for me. So I am right there. I am super close. And it is stopping for me right there. So really good. And like, it definitely seems like it has become suspicious of me standing here. So I'm gonna walk up to it again. And I am like, I mean, you can see my reflection, but I'm right here. I'm obviously not in front of the car, but it stopped for me. It sees me in the camera there, waiting for path to clear. Move back one more time. And it continues. I mean, man, the latency is really good. And then we can run after it. Oh my gosh, it's fast. Once I caught up to it, it slammed on the brakes. That was pretty funny. So fun. All right, cool. It's very, very good with pedestrians, of course, as you would expect. Now, another thing you can do, which is, I think, just for fun mostly, but I'm using Come to Me right now. So basically, I don't have to give it a target. I don't have to tell it where to go. I can just hold the button. It's basically going to come to wherever my phone is at that time. So you can see it's following me. It's almost like a pet. And it says reducing speed due to poor connectivity. I may be like connecting and disconnecting from my Wi-Fi out here. Let me turn that off. All right, so that's definitely what it was. I just turned my Wi-Fi off. My phone kept connecting to my Wi-Fi. It was connected to my Wi-Fi, and as I get out here, it gets a little spotty for the Wi-Fi. So it's preparing again. But again, this has Come to Me. So I'm just gonna go like this. I'm gonna walk through this grass and see what it does, because I don't think it'll drive in the grass here. Nope, it is not driving in the grass. So if I'm just backing up. So it's basically stopping there like, all right, I'm here for you. So it says summon complete. I'm gonna let go and click Come to Me one more time. And I think it'll drive all the way around this circle as we saw. I don't know how I'm editing this, but it already went around the circle once. It should probably do it again. Preparing. It looks so wicked. It looks so natural. It legit looks like a person, a human is driving it. It's so crazy. A little bit on the grass. Like I said, here that's fine. A lot of places, obviously, you wouldn't want to do that. And that's it. Chased me down. You cannot escape the Tesla.